Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Parth Pavia and I'm your host. Today, we're going to talk about how the North Carolina men's basketball team has looked through the first month of the college basketball season. The Tar Heels started the season hot against weak competition. UNC won its first 5 games in a stretch where it only played one Power 5 team, Stanford, which it beat 90-72 on November 12th at home. The Tar Heels outscored their first 5 opponents, 493-340, and scored over 100 points on the road against Elon and at home against Tennessee Tech. UNC showed off its depth through those first 5 games, with 3 different Tar Heels leading the team in scoring. In the game against Tennessee Tech, 6 Tar Heels scored in double figures. But the schedule hasn't been so kind to UNC these last couple of weeks. The team has been tested, and it hasn't looked as great. North Carolina took its first loss of the season on Thanksgiving to the Texas Longhorns in the Las Vegas Invitational Tournament. Against the Longhorns, freshman point guard Coby White had an absolute monster game. White erupted for 33 points, making 10 of his 17 shot attempts, including 7 of his 10 three-pointers. However, seniors Luke May and Kenny Williams struggled. May had 11 points on just 5 of 15 shooting from the floor, and Williams had just 2 points and was 1 of 4 in 28 minutes played. Texas's senior star, guard Kervin Roach, simply could not be contained. Roach torched the Tar Heels for 32 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds on an extremely efficient 12 of 15 shooting from the floor. North Carolina can't expect to beat many high-caliber opponents with performances like that from its senior leaders, Williams and May. But UNC did bounce back rather quickly, with a 94-78 win the very next day against the then 17th-ranked UCLA Bruins in that same tournament. After trailing by 5 points at halftime, the Tar Heels put their foot on the gas in the second half, outscoring the Bruins by 21 points in the final 20 minutes of action. Coby White led the way in scoring for North Carolina again, with 19 points on 6 of 11 shooting. The freshman phenom was once again hot from beyond the arc, this time hitting 4 of his 7 three-point attempts. Although Luke May was the team's second leading scorer in that contest, with 16 points, his struggles were evident. May hit just 4 of his 10 shot attempts in 32 minutes played. Kenny Williams had a nice bounce-back game, though, with 15 points on 5 of 8 shooting to go along with 6 assists and 4 rebounds. Blowing a top 25 team out of the water had to give the Heels some confidence. However, just 5 days later, UNC was absolutely embarrassed against the then number 7 Michigan Wolverines. Michigan handled North Carolina easily in Ann Arbor, beating the Tar Heels 84-67. Freshman Coby White led the Tar Heels in scoring for the 3rd straight game, but this time, he only had 12 points. That's right, no Tar Heels scored more than 12, and the team shot a mediocre 39.4% from the floor. The senior trio of Luke May, Kenny Williams, and Cam Johnson only combined for 27 points, and the Tar Heels' defense was abysmal. Michigan shot a scorching hot 57.4% from the floor and 50% from beyond the arc. 2 different Wolverines scored over 20 points in the contest. After the loss to Michigan last Thursday, North Carolina dropped from number 11 to number 14 in the AP Top 25 poll. UNC's next game will be played in the comfort of the Dean Smith Center on Wednesday against UNC Wilmington. Former Tar Heel assistant coach C.B. McGrath, who now is the head coach for the Seahawks, will make his first return to the Dean Dome in his 2nd season with UNCW. The Seahawks have struggled so far this season, with losses to Campbell, Stanford, UNC Greensboro, Gardner-Webb, and Davidson. North Carolina will look to take advantage of a struggling UNCW squad in order to get a win and regain confidence before it faces its biggest test of the season, a December 15th matchup with the number 1 ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs at home. And Gonzaga might be looking for a little revenge against UNC. The 2 teams last met in the 2017 NCAA title game, where the Tar Heels captured their 6th NCAA tournament championship with a 71-65 win in Glendale, Arizona. In that championship matchup, Joel Berry, Justin Jackson, and Theo Pinson all had big games to provide UNC with the push it needed. But Berry, Jackson, and Pinson are long gone, and the lack of leadership or alpha dog seems to be the problem for the Tar Heels early in the season. Either Luke May, Kenny Williams, or Cam Johnson will need to assume that role, both on and off the court. However, Tar Heel fans shouldn't panic just yet. Even in UNC's championship season in 2017, it lost to unranked Georgia Tech and Miami by double digits early in the year. Roy Williams is a Hall of Fame coach who usually finds a way to adjust and get his team back on track. Either way, the matchup against Gonzaga on Saturday, December 15th, should give us an idea of where the team stands before it heads into ACC play in early January. Well, that will do it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple's podcast app. See you next time with more Tar Heel basketball talk.